such a treat. We can't show y'all the behind the scenes because that was just such a joy. We'll save that for some other time. But we have to applaud this brother, Mr. Antoine Mckay.
Yeah. And it's Antoine Mckay. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, he said Mckay. It's with a K.
I'm laughing. I'm still laughing. I know I stumped, but I'm still laughing.
You're embarrassing us, man. You're embarrassing.
And Antoine Mckay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still laughing because y'all didn't see all the behind the scenes of him and his lovely wife trying to get set up and everything, and it was just so hysterical.
We have to be there kind of moments.
Look, there were substantial failures. I'm just gonna say that. Substantial.
There you go. There you go. That was such a joy. Well, sir, like I said, well, how was your flight, sir? Because you just got off a flight, and we appreciate you for just joining us. We appreciate that.
It was cool, dude, because I just done this project with students at the University of Minnesota, and it was really involved, and so I got on the plane and I just started listening to music, and there's times I need to just shut down from all the crazy and just listen to music. So I put on Maggot Brain by P-Funk, and just next thing I know, we were landing because I fell asleep because P-Funk is soothing, so it puts you to sleep. But it was really nice, man. Got back home, and yeah, I'm a huge Michigan fan. And so we're revving up for the game, so it's cool. It's cool. It's good to be home.
Yes, sir. I know you, Michigan fan. I know you hail from Detroit. That's
yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, man. So tell us about that. Let's start off with that. Growing up in Detroit, what was Antoine doing?
You know what, man? I played football. That was, and everywhere I played football, my father always got a job to be a coach on the team. So everywhere I played ball, he was a coach. So it was always very difficult to sham, and because he was on me like a shirt, man. My brother played football, but it's hilarious because we both ended up. My brother's an actor in New York, was on Broadway, and yeah, I'm doing my thing, and it's hilarious. But I went to Eastern Michigan University, which was cool. Then I went to New York and worked with Uta Hagen, who was a wonderful acting coach, and that was fantastic. Then I came back to Detroit and got hired at Second City, which is comedy, amazing comedy theater, and like Keegan-Michael Key, who is a dear friend of mine, and where Jordan Peele and Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Colbert, we all came up in that system. So that's what happened to me after college, which was really great. But then after that, I moved to Chicago, and it just took over. It just went from there. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Great, that's great. I know you've been on shows like Empire. Like, how was that experience for you? Like getting to work with Taraji and Terrence Howard.
Man, I learned so much. Because what's interesting about it, and I think we can all speak to this in some capacity, or in varying degrees, that when we work with people who are who we watched growing up, and we get that opportunity to work with those people, it changes your life, and it changes your art. And working with Terrence, Terrence is hilarious, man. Terrence was hilarious because he would mess with everybody on set. But what was cool about Terrence, he knew everybody's name on the set. He made it a point to do that. And Taraji, the ultimate professional. She would show up, she was ready, she knew her lines, she would knock it out, and then she would go shoot a movie somewhere. and then come back to set, you know, because like, you know, they both had that. Working with Malik Yoba too. Yoba was cool as the other side of the pillow, man. And he was not only a wonderful actor, but he was also an intellectual. And so he could bring some really interesting insight into acting for me. And it made me better every time. Because, you know, I thought I was just going to do the first episode. And then next thing I know, season 6, I'm still working with these guys. And it was, man, it was life-changing, and it was career-changing. So it was really beautiful.
How heavy was that chain? Because you wore that chain every single episode. How heavy was the chain? I need to know. That chain looked like it was heavy.
So let's just, you know, we all know the terminology. It was the Dookie chain.
The Dookie chain, yes. If you don't know, now you know. Yeah.
But dude, I tried to get it after the last season, and they were like, "No, you can't have the Dookie chain." I was like, "What, dude?" And for real, they would give me, like, I would show up to set and wear a pair of a pair of ones, and then they would give them to me, and I was like, "Cool." And dude, I have like 30 pair of Air Force Ones, man, like straight up. But what was really crazy, they coveted that chain so much, and they just kept it. They would not give it to me. They gave me clothes, they gave me shoes, but they would not give me the Dookie chain. I fought for it too.
Man.
Come on, man. It gotta be. I'm out of everything. You can have all this, but that chain though. You can't.
Dude, they would not give it up. For real. Dude, I begged. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I begged for it. I was like, "Can I have the chain?" They were like, "No." Dude, I went to the producer of Empire, and I was like, "Hey, can I get the Dookie chain?" He was like, "Hey, Antoine, I'll get back to you. Let me do some work on this, and then we'll figure it out." And he was just like, next time I saw him, I was like, "Hey, did you talk about the chain?" He was like, "No, we didn't talk about the chain." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Thank you."
Every time I'm like, "Here comes Antoine again. We know he's gonna ask." Like,
right? Because it was totally that. It was totally that too.
Yeah, you got the lines. Okay, I got good on my lines, but this Dookie chain though.
No.
That's the one that breaks the camel's back. No.
Dude, they would give me more lines than that before they would give me the Dookie chain.
Oh my gosh. So I know you've been, acting for, quite some time, and you've been multiple classics. What other set have you been on where you like, I have to have this for myself? Besides Dookie chain, what's something that you
I was on a show on Amazon called Patriot, and it was such a great show, man. It was one of my favorite. It's probably in the top 3 of my favorite things that I've ever done. It actually is in the top 3 of my favorite things that I've ever done. And the suits that they had for me, man. Dude, they had Armani, they had Prada. Dude, they had me clean, London Fog jacket, like old school classic Kangol. It was beautiful, man. I was like, oh, and I was like, can I? And it was so funny because I had a movie premiere one night when I was still shooting that, and I was like, I went to the costume designer and I was like, hey, can I wear this suit tonight? Because it's dope. She was like, Antoine, if something happens to that suit, it's gonna be on. We can't do anything. And so she was like, no. And Molly's great, man, because Molly's she worked with Wendell on Jack Ryan, and I think she's doing Yellowstone right now, which is a great show, a huge show right now. And but she was like, Antoine, no.
It was great.
And everybody was so polite, which was really great. But I wanted to put my hands on people so I could get the suit, but I didn't do it, you know. But no, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, man, I've been blessed to always have really great costume people around me, and all those costumes poured into the characters, which was really beautiful, and it made it almost easier to be those people because I had those clothes. So I've been really blessed in that.
You love it, man.
Now there's a movie that you did with Nicolas Cage called Weatherman.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one scene, I think your scene is called with the apple pie.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that scene and just seeing how he just kind of just like snapped. I'm like, imagine just coming up to someone on the street and they just kind of snap like right there in your face. Like, how was it shooting that scene and just watching this man, like the character was breaking down in front of you? Like how intense was that scene?
Dude, so it's a beautiful story. And it was one of those moments where I learned how to put everything that I've learned as an actor into play. So, you know, we had the read through the day before and everything, and no, like a week before. And then we showed up to shoot, and, you know, Gore Verbinski was directing it, and he directed all the Pirates of, all the movies with Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And it was great. And he's a magnificent director. He's directed so much more too. But I remember being on set, and then, you know, we got all set up, and then we shot that first scene with me and him. And what was funny is, you guys have seen the Avengers, right? The original Avengers.
Yeah.
You remember that scene where Loki and the Hulk had that scene where the Hulk picked up Loki and just slammed him around?
Slammed him around, yeah.
Right. So the first take of that scene, my first scene with Nick, was I was Loki and Nick Cage was the Hulk. Straight up. But then there was something off about the lights, and they had to regroup and do it again. Dude, it was he in that moment took me as an actor from one level to another level that I didn't know existed. And not on top of that, he was cool as hell, man. Nick Cage is cool as hell. So, you know, after that first little take, Gore Verbinski walks up to me and goes, "Just do it like you did in the audition." And then he walks away. And, you know, I just realized I got my ass kicked. And you know, I was like, "I'm from Detroit. Come on, you ain't gonna do this to me. Nick Cage ain't taking me down. Fuck that. Let's go, homie. Who is you?" You know, and so then, you know, all my training and everything came back to me, and I was able to exist in that place with him. And we had a great scene, you know, and what was cool about Nick too was after we shot all day, they made it snow in May in Chicago. You know, it was like 70 degrees outside, and they made it look like it was winter. Afterwards, he, like, for real, straight up, for an hour and a half, went around and signed autographs, took pictures, did everything. And I sat in the van, like, waiting, because they were taking us back to our trailers. And he just signed autographs, talked to people, took pictures. And he was just, he was a cool ass guy, man. Cool ass guy. And I learned so much, because that was like one of my first big movies, you know. And it taught me so much, in the sense that I learned that you teach the art all the time, like as you are in public and as you are on camera. And he was just cool. We talked about the scene, and he just gave me insight into what he was feeling. And then it was amazing, man. It was really groovy. It was really groovy.
Isn't that so humbling and refreshing to see somebody at a different tier and status like that, and they're just like a regular guy, like he's talking to you.
Correct. And you know, at the time, old boy was like kicking up with this cocktail waitress in Michigan. You know, I probably shouldn't disclose that, but you know, but it was like, he asked me where I was from when we all walked up. He was like, "Hey, Antoine, what's up, man?" And first of all, he knew my name, which was really cool. And that's just respect, and as we all know. And then he was like, "So where are you from in Detroit?" I was like, "Oh, you know, I grew up in Inkster. Then I lived in Detroit." And he was like, "Oh man, I'm dating this cocktail waitress from Detroit. She's fine as hell." You know, I'm like, for real. And he went in on it, and it was so great because it was just like, oh, so it's like this. So we're just gonna kick it. You know, but then I worked with other actors who are not on that, in that space, and destroyed sets and made things awful for everybody because of their status, quote unquote. It was brutal, but working with him and Gore, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. Because they were both so humble, and they had both done so much. And I was working with Nicolas Cage. This was his first movie after leaving Las Vegas, where he won the Oscar. So he had all the reason to be an asshole, you know. But he was just cool, man. He was cool.
I gotta ask you. So I know you was in Weatherman.
Yeah.
And there's an infamous scene about the tartar sauce. Since your wife is here, I have to ask: has there ever been an incident where your wife asked you to get something and you totally forgot what was it? It had to be something.
Brother, let me tell you, like, numerous stories. There's like 10 stories.
Yeah.
Like, I will be going to the store, and I'm like, I've been going for whiskey. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna go get some whiskey and get it back in Newport.
Baby, can you pick up some half and half for me?
Yeah, she'll say, get some half and half for me, because you know, she's a coffee drinker. And dude, I will pull up in the driveway, start walking towards the door, and then I go, oh shit, I didn't get the half and half. Because I was only thinking about the whiskey and cigarettes. So then I get back in the car and drive off. Like, she has seen that so many. She's like, I want some Twizzlers. I'm like, yeah, I got you, baby. I got you. Then I get to the crib, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go back and get Twizzlers. Dude, I just keep going back and back and back and back all the time.
It's okay, baby. I didn't need to.
Dude, like, I walk in and I didn't have them sometimes, and she was just so gracious and sad.
Oh, she's like, you know what? He got a lot going on today.
No, I don't. Dude, that's the thing. It's like, you know, we get these explosions of acting, and like, we work for 4 months, 5 months, and then we're off chilling for like 2-3 weeks. And it's just like, oh, cool. I can do anything I want, you know? But, but yeah, I failed, is what I'm saying.
Oh man, that is too hilarious. Classic, man.
No, it's the truth, brother. It is the truth.
Oh my God, it happens, man. Yeah, and that was so cool that, you know, because we talk about that all the time on the show, because we act as well too, and we're so thankful and grateful that, you know, the people that we come across and meet, that they set the tone for how that whole day is going to go. Of course, you stay focused in your scene and everything.
Of course.
And I think that's beautiful how that set the tone for you and your career, that being your first major film that you're a part of, and how, you know, that set the tone for, you know, how you do things, and how, you know, with your acting class, acting school, how you know, meet different students and how you carry yourself and everything. So I think just hearing that story right there, just so humbling. That's beautiful. I love it.
Dude, yeah, it is, man, because it just, I mean, and you know, all of us have, you know, there's the, existential angst that we all have that,
Yeah.
you know, good enough? Am I doing the right thing? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Yeah, we struggle with those things. But then at the same time, there's people that you meet along the way. And the three of you, you know, like doing this podcast, for example, it's like, am I on the right path? It's like, yes. Because, you know, getting two other people to agree with you, especially in this day and age, is very difficult. But I mean, this is, you guys doing this show is a perfect example of what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man, thank you.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, about to make us cry thug tears over here, brother. Like, man, man, like, man, you got, like, man, like, make us cry. Like, man, I'm trying to help him out. Like, man, Antoine Mckay was on our show, man, and he
my thug tears, baby.
I'm trying to be hard right now.
That's my thug tears.
I'm trying to be hard right now.
You
Man,
know,
brother,
I have to commend you because you have 6 kids. You've been married. How long you been married?
You know what, man? I was married for a while to somebody else, but I just married my high school sweetheart 2 years ago.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
my Greek queen, man. She's Greek. I used to be 30 pounds lighter before. You know.
That happened.
Yeah, and yeah, dude, she done fattened me up. I hope she's not fattening me up for the kill, but you know what I'm saying. At the same time,
right there now.
What'd you say?
I just started
right there now.
Right. No, but you know, we had beautiful children from my last marriage and everything, but being with her is my career has gotten even better because I have somebody that actually and truly supports me and is in the game with me. Like, I have self-tapes, I have, you know, like this. We got home and I sat down and I poured a drink and she was like, "You got the thing?" I was like, "Oh, shit." And you know, she just she keeps me in line, man. She helps me. She's really for me, which is really great. And, you know, especially in this time of tension, culturally, and when I say culturally, I talk about just racism is at its peak in some capacity. You know, having somebody by your side and kicking it with you is great. And, you know, we get the flack, whatever, for being an interracial couple, whatever. But, you know, she takes care of me, man. Takes care of me.
And that's good to be in this business with someone like for like support. Cause I remember my wife, they went to an event that we had where they was a part of it extra. And I told her, I said, it's not gonna go as fast as you think. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna be there like for a couple of hours. No, it went on to like 5 hours.
Dude, yeah.
So you gotta have a significant other that's gonna understand that time. It takes time and there's a lot of sacrifice. So, you know, that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Yeah, dude, it is. And that's exactly what it is. It's a blessing.
Yes, sir.
It is a blessing. And I'm so grateful for that.
Now I was going to talk about, now one of my favorite characters that's on TV right now is Uncle Spike on Southside.
I honestly thought that was your name. I said, oh, we're going to interview Spike?
I want to know, what was your inspiration for that character, and how much of Uncle Spike is in Antoine?
You know what? Growing up in Detroit, there's a little bit of Uncle Spike and Antoine, but you know, my parents were the parents that made us write 3 book reports in the summer. Those were my parents, you know. Yeah, dude, it was, but I've read a substantial amount, you know, before I even got, you know, even before I went to college, that summer, you know, your summer after your senior year of high school, you're supposed to be going to, you know, graduation parties, doing whatever. But man, dude, I worked, you know, I went to nationals for speech. And so I was gone for 3 weeks for that. And then I got back and then I worked at muscular dystrophy camp, which was really cool. And then I got home and, you know, my friends were having, you know, graduation parties. And my mother was like, you still owe 3 book reports. And I'm like, I'm going to college. Are you serious? You want me to write people? She was like, Antoine. And dude, she stayed on me like a shirt. And it was like, okay, cool. So you know, she gave me a break. I read 1 short story and wrote a thing on that, but I still had to read 2 other books. And, so yeah, so there's not a lot of Uncle Spike in that. However, Uncle Spike is an educated man. Uncle Spike was a medic in the Iraq War, and which is really interesting. So he could do a lot of things, and he was a very educated man, which is really cool. But then the rest of Uncle Spike comes from my cousin Orlando, who just passed away from COVID a few weeks ago. But he was like, you know, you always have that cousin that's, you know, either a Blood or a Crip or a Latin King or a 7 Mile Dog. You know, we all have those cousins, right? Right. And but he was a brilliant man. Yeah, he did all that stuff back in the day, but he went to school and learned how to operate heavy machinery. Then he owned his own trucking company, and you know, we evolve obviously, but when it came down to it, that that killer instinct that Uncle Spike has comes from him, my cousin Orlando. And so yeah, that's who he was. Like a lot of how Spike is based on, because we would be having a great picnic and everything, and somebody would say something, and my cousin would be like, "What the fuck you say? What? You want some of this? Y'all coming up with here?" And dude, it's like straight up, like somebody punched me in the face back in the day and stole my bike.
Oh no!
And then I was a senior in high school, and you know, my wife and I went to homecoming together, okay? And tensions were high, obviously, racially, interracially, in the neighborhood. And then, you know, people were picking on me and messing with me because I was going to prom with a white girl. And so then, there was one day that we're all sitting in my living room, and these 2 guys that had been picking on me and messing with me walked by. My brother, who's an actor in New York, who is hilarious and brilliant, and my cousin Orlando were sitting on the couch, and my cousin Tony, they saw them walking by, and Tony, yes, is a woman, and went out there, and everybody just started shooting the ones, man. Everybody was throwing hands, and it was crazy. You know, but you know, that annex of Uncle Spike exists because he's a survivor, because he had been to the wars, he had been and saw the death and the craziness that war brings. And so Uncle Spike has pseudo PTSD. So, but he still has love in his heart, you know? So I love this character so much, man. It's so great. I'm so happy we're coming back for season 3.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because not just because you are on here, but before we really start getting heavy. Well, Chris is the one that put us on Southside, and he told us about it. Yeah. And I started watching.
See, Chris, I knew it, Chris. I knew you was the one.
Yeah, Chris was the one. Chris was the one.
Chris is the one that told us about it. And when I started, binge watching the first season, your character was the one that I was like, Spike is going to be something else. From that first season, what was the first episode when y'all was at the pizza parlor, and homeboy came up and told you something, and you said, "Yo, my man, I don't even know him more that information."
Right.
It was that, and just not only just that, the whole season, Spike was just killing it for me. That's why I love this character. And then it was this past season where it was the hurricane episode, and you came in, and I was like, I'm flat out done. You said, "Hey, everybody, the hurricane is about to come. I need everybody up against the wall. You about to see some shit you ain't about to see." I was like, bro, like I'm Spike. That's the dude right there, man.
Dude, that was one of my favorite times, like acting. Yeah. Because I got to work with Rel on that episode.
Yeah.
And we all know how amazing he is. And on top of that too, he's just a cool cat. Like Rel is not stuck up. He's not any of that. And he's huge, man. Rel's a big time. But just like talking to him and working with him was great. But man, I love that episode. It was so fun. We had so much fun.
It looked like you just had so much fun with it.
Dude, they let us improvise. They let us improvise and kind of just come up with what we want to. And once we do that, they support us in that. And that is a beautiful and safe place for an actor to be. Yeah. Because they just trust us with what we're doing. And it's beautiful. Diallo and Bashir are so fucking, excuse my language, I'm sorry. They're so fucking dope.
I think we bypass of excusing languages.
Right. Hey, you're good. And it was funny too, because like I can tell, like I know, and we're gonna get into your acting school as well, because I see that with that scene when you got up, you said, "I hate a lot of things, but I can't stand this fucking play."
Right.
And do you? I noticed that in your acting classes, your acting school, it seems as if like you drive home improv.
Yeah, because I'm a classically trained actor. Went to school for it, and then I worked with like probably one of the greatest acting teachers in the world, Uta Hagen. And I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she was one of the most amazing people in the world, man. She was hard on us. 750 people auditioned for the class, for her class. She took 40. By the time we were done, there was only 18 of us, man. I learned so much about acting from her. And then I had the opportunity to work at Second City, which, is improv based, and you develop all of your text and sketches from improv. Yeah. And combining both of those entities together, I mean, it made me better. It just gave me insight into the mentality of casting agents, other actors, directing, and just being an actor. It changed my life, man. It changed me so much.
Yeah, I dig that, man. And it's inspiring to see that too, because it's funny that we have you on the show right now, and I'm getting ready to launch my own acting class to help others. And I just want to tell you, like, I'm looking at you right now as inspiration too. Like you, another actor we had that came on, William Jefferson, he was on Southside as well too.
Yeah,
I know he has on too. And
Big Willie.
Yeah. Oh man. Dude, cool guy. Y'all are just so cool.
Dude,
and so,
great guy, man.
Yeah.
Jeff is great, man. He's great.
Yeah, man. Y'all inspire us so much with what you do and hard work. So tell us a little bit more about your acting classes that you hold.
You know, I teach the Uta Hagen method. For on camera and just for theater too, because you know both of those are different mediums, as you guys know. Like theater is bigger and you know more pushed to the back of the wall so that you get so that the whole audience sees and feels and hears, and camera is very small, and you know you have to do that. So we teach classes in theater using the Uta Hagen method, and in on camera. Excuse me. Sorry. And then we also do improv, and we do. My wife is teaching a screenwriting class because she's a brilliant screenwriter, and we do auditions too, so that people understand, especially now, like we're all sitting here on Zoom, like that's what auditioning is now. So self-tapes, etc. It's important for us to understand this medium so that we can, while we're not getting the opportunity to create the intimacy that's needed when you go into a room and audition, you're getting the opportunity to learn how to create that intimacy in this medium. So it's we're really excited about it, and we're having a lot of fun with it, man. We had a lot of really great classes. We start our term in a couple of weeks again, so it's really cool.
That's dope, man. Love it. Man, this is the part of the interviews where I hate, because we know we want to keep talking to you and keep, getting more. We just like spending time with, like I said, that intimate moment where we just.
But it's time to go, baby.
I know, because I know you, man. I know, because you're a busy man, and I it's like, oh man. But two more things before you go. And whether, we see that Diallo and them are getting ready to. They're in the writing room right now.
Yes.
For Southside season 3. So congratulations to you all.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we're really excited about it.
Got a part on that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And do you ever get a chance to sit in the writing rooms and hear them, throwback ideas? Do you ever?
No, I don't. But what's cool about it is that they do sit in the writing room and they do the work, but then all that work that they do, they're willing to throw out the window in the moment of us shooting for the sake of the show. If something's flowing, if something's moving, they completely allow us to live freely in that. So it's really nice. It's really groovy.
Beautiful. Y'all got a beautiful show, man. And
thank you.
Congrats on winning awards as well too. I know Diallo and Bashir are so proud of that.
Dude, I do it. Okay, I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Go ahead.
Audibly wept when I found out that they won, because these are two brothers from the South Side of Chicago who went to Harvard, worked for Jimmy Fallon. Like, they have 2 shows on TV right now, and they're writing for both of them, and they're doing all of the work. And to see that, there's been tons of African-American writers over the time. I think about Amber Ruffin and her show on Peacock, and she's brilliant. Actually, when I left Second City, Amber actually came on stage there to work, and the evolution of her career has been beautiful. But to see the evolution of Black writers just explode in the last year and a half, 2 years, is really, really beautiful, man. It's really beautiful because we're finally getting the opportunity to get our voices out there. because our voice is so important and it's so special and it's so the intellectual capacity of what we have to say is absolutely beautiful.
You remember at
Absolutely
one point in
beautiful.
time where, well, not to cut you off, but it's just so funny how time is changed. At one point in time, there wasn't a lot of black nothing out on movies, TV. We wasn't nowhere. Yeah, we had Cosby. We had a different world.
Mm-hmm.
But that was still Cosby.
Yeah, that was still Cosby, right?
But then, you know, you think back before that, and the writers, we had Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live. We had Richard Pryor writing his own stand-up, et cetera, et cetera. Red Fox on Sanford and Son. He started writing in the later years of that show. But the like original person that was really involved in writing for TV shows was Flip Wilson.
Right.
You guys, Flip Wilson wrote for many shows. And then he had his own show, his own variety show for a minute. But Flip Wilson was the guy, man. And now we actually get to the point where we have writers actually, and I hate to use this word, but infiltrating this world of comedy and drama. It's really, you know, Shonda Rhimes is doing an amazing thing, man.
Whitney Kemp.
I mean, the list is long now.
Yeah.
Or
absolutely.
the list is what it should be now. So it's really, really, it's really inspiring.
I agree. Is there anybody that you will want to work with or that you haven't worked with yet?
Do I want to work with?
Yeah.
Denzel.
Okay.
I want to work with Denzel so bad. I want to work with Meryl Streep. I was up for a commercial with Robert De Niro, but then I was shooting a TV show at the time, so I couldn't take it because I was already under contract. And I was crestfallen. I was heartbroken. Oh man, I want to work with De Niro. But a guy that, you know, I really want to work with is I want to work with Spike, man. I want to work with Spike. And he did Chirac, and Empire was going on at the time. And so he didn't take anybody from Empire and put him in Chirac because they both shot in Chicago. And I was like, yeah, I'm going out. Yeah, I get an audition. I met him. Spike was cool as hell, man. He was so great. But then he just didn't want to use anybody from Empire at the time because, you know, he didn't want to make it look like he was taking somebody from Lee's show to his show. You know, and you know that's just respect, man. And like game recognizes game, and we all heard that, but it's like I was still like, dang, Spike, that audition was really good that I just did. I was like, the audition was dope, Spike.
Like, Spike, come on, Spike. You know, I was in Written Off. I was with Nicolas Cage.
It's like, Spike, I wrote Written Off. I wrote it. I wrote it.
Like, yo,
come on.
Like, come on. Oh my gosh, man. Well, like I said, we would love to chop it up with you. Like I said, we speaking into existence that we will see you on set soon.
Yes, you will.
Well, brother, one last thing before we let you go. We thank you. We appreciate you. I know you've been doing all this for like over 33 years or so.
Yeah.
Man, thank you. We're honored, we're humbled, and we appreciate you for it.
No, I'm grateful for you guys, man. Please keep doing this. Please, because you guys are allowing voices to be heard. And whether you believe it or not, I don't know the state of anything when it comes to you. But what you guys are doing and watching it, like you're giving people the opportunity to share. And not only that, but you're also you're opening doors, not only for us, but for yourselves. And it's beautiful, man. What you guys do is beautiful.
Absolutely.
I
Appreciate
Man, I
it.
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Last
Real
thing
thug
before we-
tears.
Oh man, come on. Real thug tears.
Thug tears.
Y'all are ridiculous. Oh, man, wait, that's just acting up, brother. We trying to code it in. Oh man, many blessings to you, and your
Many
family.
blessings to all of you. All of you.